Hi everybody, this is Rick here. I'm going to get started in just a minute. If you're dialed in, I just need to send my links out and pull up the chat. So I'll get started in just a few minutes. I want to make sure I have chat enabled, and I do. First live stream in a while. So welcome for those returning. And I'm just going to get this posted up. Okay, I just had to get a tweet out so I could let folks know. Welcome everyone. Welcome Elite Trance. He says, "Hey man, can you wish my girlfriend a happy birthday, Donovan?" Happy birthday, Donovan. Happy birthday, and I hope you're having a good birthday. Ask the Elite Trance to get you some Cardano NFTs. There you go. There you go. Get her some NFTs for her birthday. Flower URLs, what's up? Phil Mack asks, can you earn from Daedalus? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing anything about earning. This about voting. I'm going to stay on topic, on target. A lot of important things to cover today. So not talking about price, not talking about pool, not talking about all that other stuff. If people do want to join me, DM me on Telegram. I will try to catch it on Telegram, and I'll drop you the link to this stream, and you can hop in. But let me get into the content of what we're doing today. So I'm going to go over a voting process on how to determine what things to vote, both upvote, abstain, or downvote in Project Catalyst Fund7 open source development ecosystem. All right, that is only one category of many categories. And in each category are many proposals. So there's tens and tens of categories, and there's hundreds of proposals. It's a lot for people to sort through. Some people take the time to sort through it, vote for things they like, and just abstain from everything else. And some people will dig into the details. I'm going to show you some voting tools, a voting aid that's available for Project Catalyst funding. For voting, to help you with voting, but I'm going to show you my process here. What I'll tell you about first is a little bit of background about myself. You know, I did the Rick's Picks last week. I posted that up on Twitter, and then they asked me to come over and speak to it on the town hall. So I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. A lot of you know I'm ex-military, but we have a lot of new people in Cardano, so a little bit about myself. You know, I'm prior military from a highly technical field, and I worked for the last 12 years as a defense contractor in the defense industry in multiple capacities, multiple hats, as an instructor out on the front lines and in the field, and as a systems engineer. Okay, I'm also a Cardano Stateful operator. I've done the Cardano Live podcast. I still do that, and I've done the Cardano Effect. I've been around Cardano since October of 2017, and I've been reading diligently up on Cardano. So what is an expert, right? So I did get a lot of feedback and flack, if you will, about what makes you an expert. Well, I am not an expert. It's up to you to define the experts you want to listen to, right? I'm not an expert by some people's definition, which is fine. There are some people who can write C++ code, but they can't understand Haskell. But they are experts in C++. And there are people who are experts in Haskell, and maybe they don't know how to assemble an airplane. So they're experts in one thing, but not in something else, right? So I'm just giving you some examples. So, as a defense contractor and as a systems engineer at Progeny Systems, what I did is I sat on what's called a CCB, a configuration and view board, configuration control board, where we would review all of the issues, bugs, features, and capabilities that needed to be implemented in a system, and we prioritized them. Okay, some things were need to have, some things were must haves, some things were critical, and some things were it would be nice. It's a cool feature, it would be good, and we had to prioritize that stuff. And it's hard. Okay, nobody ever changed the world by voting for stuff that makes them feel good. Okay, people change the world by making tough decisions. That's how you change the world. You got to make hard decisions, and you got to look at funding. So you got to look at gaps. So there are definitions inside these different categories that describe the category, and it means different things to different people. What I like to prioritize is, what are the gaps? How much do we need it? How bad is it needed? And then at the end, how much does it cost? So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you some stuff, and then I'm going to go through the process. This is going to be a long live stream, okay? It might be like watching paint dry, and I'm going to go through the process, because a lot of feedback I got from people was, why did you say upvote this and downvote that? There is no easy answer, okay? If someone asks me a one-line question, I cannot possibly respond with 5 paragraphs to every single question. Why did you downvote this one particular thing? Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you, we're going to go through the process, right? And if something gets downvoted, it's simply because it didn't make the upvote, or if something's abstained. So there's 3 types of votes: upvote, abstain, downvote. Okay. Those are 3 types of votes. Pay, good to see you here. Lee Trance, Jess Abram, hey, how you doing? BCA, good to see you again. And Create the Imaginable. All right, thanks everyone for being here. So I'm going to share my screen and go through the process. Give me a moment while I get that sorted. So like I said, I'm not an expert on everything, but I do have significant experience in prioritizing based on gaps, needs, demand, how critical is it, okay? So that's important. Those are also important factors to think about that you really don't see in Project Catalyst. Oh, and another factor is risk. What is the risk? Sometimes something is high risk, but it's such high demand, it's worth the risk. Sometimes something is very expensive, but the demand is so high that it's worth the cost. Those are all different factors that I've had to look at over the years. Cost as in how many labor hours, and it both means the same thing. You say, okay, how much work is this? And do we have the people to support it? Or you can say, how much does it cost? And that's almost the same thing, right? They'll have interchangeable meanings practically. All right, so let me share my screen out and get moving through the process. I'll show you what I have here. Please forgive me if I screw this up. I'm trying my best. And I'm also going to try to check chat, because I need your feedback. Your feedback will help me learn and help me grow. I'm a lifetime learner. I never think I'm the guy that knows everything. I might actually ask you questions based on the stuff that I've seen so far. If I do, please help me out in the chat. So I'm going to share this desktop, and then I'm going to check to see. Okay. Is it showing on YouTube? Well, if you all can see that. Okay. All right. So here's on my screen. Here's what I have on the right-hand side of the screen. I have Project Catalyst Idea Scale right here, Fund7, Open Source Developer Ecosystem, and a list of all of the projects. Okay. Also on the right-hand side, I have the Project Catalyst Voter Tool. I'll drop the link down below when I'm done. I can throw it in the chat now, I guess. Let me copy that. Okay, this is the Catalyst Voter Tool. All right, and here it has each of the categories. At first, it has the overall definition. How can we ensure that the Cardano ecosystem is built on a framework which is owned by the community and equally accessible to all? All right, now that's a good overall definition, but what it does not do is it does not say what is the demand, how much is it needed, how much does it cost, what is the risk, right? It does not say that. So I'm applying my own personal attributes as a, I don't know, maybe an expert, Could be. I'm applying my own personal attributes in order to prioritize the votes. Okay. All right. So let me drop that over in chat. Hopefully it sticks in case anybody wants to open up that tool. Looks like the screen is showing okay. Hopefully you guys can see that. I tried to zoom in a little bit. Let me try zooming just a tad more so I see the aspect is not perfect. Okay, let's try that for now. Hopefully you can see that better. All right, so that's on the right-hand side of my screen. Open source developer ecosystem. And here's the same thing. These two have the same data, but the data inside the voting aid actually has the community advisor star ratings here. All right, now what do I have on my left? This is a Trello board, okay? And on the Trello board, I applied these attributes, okay? All right, so here's all of them. This is just a list that I copy and pasted from here, okay? Oops, actually from here. All right, just so I have a quick summary that I can sort, because I can't sort these columns in idea scale, okay? Right now, the pieces and parts for voting in Catalyst are all over the frickin' place. And I'll give you an example. You have your wallet on a desktop computer. You have the voting app on a phone. You have the data in idea scale, and you have a voting tool on yet a separate page. So if you really want to do what I'm doing right now, you have these different tools scattered all over the place. So we're still early. We'll get there. It'll take time. Please be patient with the developers. We will get there. All right, so what did I do? I put them all in this category called all. And in the category all, I put all of the currently active projects. It does not include the ones that are in reserve or withdrawn. So those are not in the voting app presently on your phone for voting. All right, hopefully that makes sense so far. Okay, so here's all of the different stuff that you can vote on. And then I have wrong category. All right, now these are the priorities. Like, for example, when I did this as a systems engineer, this would be a Pri 1, for example. It's not, there's a definition of a priority 1, right? And this one would be a Pri 2, right? This one would be a Pri 3, right? It's just an example, different ways, different. How do I prioritize the stuff, right? And that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to help that. Let me know if my audio is okay in the chat. And if you have questions, please let me know in the chat as well. And if you want to join, please let me know in the chat or hit me up on Telegram, and I will check to see if anybody wants to hop in and talk with me. Feel free to do so. Okay. All right. So what do I do now? Now, this first part is kind of easy, but you have to have read through and at least familiarized yourself with these 29 different proposals listed over here. All right. So I hopefully that looks good for now. All right. So then I go through each one of these proposals, and I'm going to compare them to what the star rating is by the community advisors, and I'm going to start moving them over. I'm going to start filtering from the all category into the nice to have, need soon, need now, and I'm just going to keep pushing them over to the left, kind of like a filter, like funneling them over this way. Okay. All right, and I've read through some of these. So you got the chain lib. So I'm going to click on this card. Okay, the problem statement is current chain lib API only lets users use BlockFrost. A plugin system should be made to let anyone modify the program as needed. Describe the solution, create a plugin system for the chain lib, starting with a way to get off-chain data with BlockFrost being an official first plugin. And this seems like a good one, so we would like to have that as an open source. And these other chain libs have similar description. So I'm going to just keep moving them over to the left. Okay. All right, very detailed. So that one's nice to have someday. Describe your solution, documentation website to make it easier for developers to use the API. Okay, so these three go together. All right. Okay. All right. Marketplace creator. All right, as marketplace is being built, repeat work is to be executed, cutting into overall efficiency of developers. Describe your solution. Provide developers with the base layer marketplace functionality so they can focus on the specifics of their products and services. Okay, I guess I'm going to leave that in all for now. I'm not sure what to do with that one. The demand is there. Is it open source? Sure. I think that's nice to have someday. That's like maybe in the out years. Flutter SDK is the fastest growing mobile app developer community, but currently there's no Flutter support on the Cardano ecosystem. Okay, finish the open source Flutter SDK from Fund7 to deliver production ready Cardano on-ramp for Flutter mobile, web, and desktop. Okay, mobile does win the internet, so it's good to have stuff like that. Now, I will also make the comment that there are mobile apps such as Yoroi, CC Vault, stuff like that. So mobile is there, so the SDK may be important. That one did get 4-star reviews. Cardano Omnibus UTXO management. Hold on a second. Did I get to that one yet? I did touched on that one. Okay. Oh, I see. So mine are in this order. So let me kind of go with this order. I'll come back to it. Let me go with this order first. These lists, this list is sorted by star rating, and this list is simply in some order, whatever it is. And that's the order my list is in. Okay, so I'll just have to switch between the two. Open source for the environment. Open source for the environment. Nature's extremely is an external ecosystem. The quicker can get everything from nature. Describe the solution to your problem in life. Everything's connected. Let's see here. How's it look over on the star rating? I'm going to confuse myself here a little bit. I might not go to the star ratings yet. I might come back to these later. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest with you, I think this one's in the wrong category. I don't know how open source for the environment applies to. I'll just put it over there for now. I'll come back to that later. Smart contract library. Wait, let me go to Android SDK. Android SDK. Mobile devs want to create Cardano, have to build their own replica of tools which require knowledge of cryptography. And a solution is to create a software development kit for Android, lay a foundation for building mobile Cardano apps without knowing cryptographic internals. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. That's something we would want. So we're going to have that. Move it over. Okay. Smart contract library. Cardano lacks an open source library of smart contracts that developers can use for rapid prototyping. And they want to build and publish a series of smart contract templates similar to Ethereum's Open Zeppelin that Cardano developers can utilize. Okay, that's good. I like that. I like that. That's something we could use. All right, any questions so far? Audio's good. Audio's good. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Create the Imaginable. Yeah, Oros Tech says, don't forget Blockfrost API. I'll get to I think that's down the list. I went in this order, so I apologize for the different order, but that's just how it is. That's just how it is. So I'm going to sort through the stuff. I'm going to sort through it. Okay. Localize Yoroi for Vietnam marketplace. Okay, Yoroi's not been localized for the Vietnamese language, which leads to many mistakes and difficult use for Vietnamese. I feel for you. I totally understand. I think a lot of people are having a lot of problems, especially with Yoroi mobile. And translate all text in Yoroi into Vietnamese and provide a file developers need. Okay, now, unfortunately, I think this is important. I think this is important. However, it's in the wrong category. It doesn't belong here. For two reasons. One, Emergo is a product owner of Yoroi. Emergo needs to do that and pay for that. I don't know if it's open source or not to put a language in there. There's 200 languages throughout the world that are widely used. I don't know if you want to run 200 languages through there, but I hope they can get the Vietnamese language in there. I hope they do, but unfortunately it's in the wrong category. Let's see here. If I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. So I got a question here. Create the Imaginable says, we can vote an unlimited amount of times, right? The answer is yes. You can vote an unlimited amount of times. Here is a core issue in voting. if you have $200,000 in funds available in a category and you vote for everything in the category, it's the same thing as not voting. Okay, so if you vote for everything, it's the same thing as not voting. If you downvote everything, it's kind of also the same thing as not voting, because that's your vote. So what you did is, if there's $200,000 worth of stuff and you vote for $400,000 worth of stuff, then what you did is you created competing votes with your most high priority items, right? So you don't have $400,000, you have $200,000. So you have to figure out, that's what we have for this fund. You got to figure out, what do I want to spend my $200,000 on? Or do I just want to vote for what makes me feel good and throw everything to the wind and hope somebody else makes a good decision? Okay. And then everything in between. It's not one or the other. It's, a broad spectrum of different ways that people vote. So hopefully I answered your question. Yeah, you can unvote. You can vote an unlimited number of times and you can cast your vote. But just remember, when you cast your vote, it expends a transaction fee. One Trippy Planet says, hey, Rick, I'm curious to know, as far as the upvote, downvote goes, are you speaking in terms of priority? I like tooling may be something that there's more of a priority than other things appreciated. All right, thank you, One Trippy Planet. Here's what I think the app needs. The Project Catalyst app needs two features very badly. One is when you start upvoting stuff, it should keep a tally at the top of that one category. Let's say the category is worth 200,000, and as you upvote, it starts expending the 200,000 just as a decision aid. And you can vote for everything if you want, and you can see that you voted for $1 million worth of stuff when the budget is only $200,000. But at least if it had a decision aid to alert the voter that they expended all of their vote energy, right? And as they continue voting for more stuff, they are now depleting the value of their initial vote. That would be good. It would just be like a little bar as you vote that goes from like 0 to 200,000 or 0 to a million, whatever the fund is worth. And as they start consuming funds with their vote, this little meter says, okay, you've expended it. You can keep going if you want, but it's simply a decision aid to help the voter make a better decision. That way they can upvote. Unfortunately, in the Catalyst app, it's really beta. It really does suck. I mean, it does, but we're still early. Once you upvote something, at least in the previous round in Fund 6, as if I recall correctly, is once you upvote, you can't deselect the upvote button. It is stuck there. You can only change it to a downvote or an upvote, and you can't deselect. There are three types of voting: upvote, abstain, downvote. So what they need to do is put an abstain button in the middle so you can actually click it so it will deselect the up and the down. Just a suggestion. I'm not in charge of things. I'm just a guy on YouTube. All right, so let me keep going through the list. Okay, procedural 3D content creation tool. There are limited resources for real-time 3D procedural generation that are free and open source. Describe the solution. Proton Graph is a FOSS, free open source software designed for game development. It can generate content both beforehand and at runtime. Okay, games are important to crypto. To me, I'm both a gamer and a crypto guy, and I get it. So that is something that will be useful. So I'm going to put that in a nice to have someday. Game changer CLI, ready to use outputs. Oh wait, I missed this one. Oh, my bad. Okay, Gimbal, turning devs, this is important, turning devs into blockchain devs. Problem, there are not enough Cardano blockchain developers to deliver on the tidal wave of work coming our way. And the description is to support experienced developers to become experts in Cardano blockchain. That's true. I hear there is job applications everywhere Okay, I'm not putting these in any particular order. I'm just tossing them over there. There are IOG, DC Spark. They're all hiring. They're just all hiring. There's so many Cardano developer projects that are hiring. They're all looking for people. So yeah, need to get them turned into bring developers from out there in the world, bring them over to blockchain. So that's a good thing. I don't know if it should be open source. What's it say about describe your solution to problem? Is it open source? Ooh, I'm thinking more about open source procurement. What's the category for this again? How can we ensure the system is built on a framework which is owned by the community and equally accessible? I'll leave it here for now and come back to it. This might belong in a different category. That might belong in a different category. Like it might not fall under open source. This is human resource acquisition. No, it's good. It's good here. Okay. Game changer. Okay, so you got Game Changer dApp CLI tools able to generate URL and QR codes, but it doesn't provide ready to integrate snippets for HTML. It's proposed to extend the current URL and QR code from scripts with plain HTML to React Node.js snippets. Okay, yeah, and as long as it's open source, that's cool. That would be nice to have. Okay. All right, Fund7 proposal SDGs. Okay. SDGs are the Sustainable Development Goals. So what this is talking about, problem statement, connecting SDGs and Project Catalyst proposals requires analysis and evaluation. We ask for support to continue work in Fund7 as we've done in Fund6. And the solution to problem, analyze Fund7 funded proposals for the UN Sustainable Development Goal connections. And present the data and info in an open access database. Share with media. Okay, this is interesting. This is in the wrong category. Doesn't belong there. Does not belong there. That doesn't curate people. It doesn't curate actual open source projects. It's statistics or something like that or whatever. So if the UN wants it, the UN can pay for it. The UN can pay for that. We don't need to pay for that with Catalyst funds. Let's see here. I'm going to check questions, then I'm going to come back to proposal framework tool. Okay, so questions in chat. Metal Gear Mark III says procedural 3D creation tool. There are plenty on the market now. Yeah. Now, that's a good point, Metal Gear. I need to look deeper and say, is this bringing open source 3D creation tools to allow people to deploy their products on the Cardano blockchain? To be honest with you, I think we have a lot of them, because if you look at all the NFTs, CryptoNitties, a lot of them, Cardano City, it's not a strong need. Remember how I was saying earlier, how much is it needed? Is it nice to have? Sure. Do we have some? Maybe we do. If we already have them, we probably don't need to fund them. People are already making them, so it probably doesn't need to be funded. But a good point. Let me know if I screw something up, or at least give me some feedback. Sorry, I gotta get some coffee. Okay, Create the Imaginable says, when is the 500 ADA voting snapshot deadline? It was about January 5th or 6th. I am moving lots of ADA and wallets around because of Sunday Swap. Yeah, me too. But there we go. The snapshot was early January. Yeah, Metal Gear says, why reinvent the wheel? I think he's referring to this. All right, so moving on. There's a lot to go through here. Proposal framework tool. Creating robust Catalyst proposals should be easier. It should be. 75% of proposals don't win Catalyst funds, costing assessors, proposal time, resources. Yeah, tell me about it. The voters. Dude, there's like, there's like 500 things to vote on. What voters are you expecting to go through 500 different things and properly make a vote? That's why I'm doing this. Describe your solution to the problem. Include additional framework to the proposer tool, giving proposers a menu of goals and metrics ready for use in proposals. Okay, that's interesting, but it's in the wrong category. It doesn't belong in this one. Let's see here. So Cardano Learn. Okay, and Cardano learning curve is very steep. Yes, I've heard that often. At least as far as learning, Haskell and Plutus has a steep learning curve. Many want to learn but are severely limited by time, resources, and willpower. Well, if they lack willpower, that's not our problem. That's their problem. Anyway, describe your solution to the problem. Cardano Learn is a learn-to-earn platform that lets developers learn Cardano knowledge and skills and earn ADA for proof of learning. That's an interesting idea. Okay. I'm going to leave that in the all category. No, let's put that in a nice to have someday. We'll leave it there for now. Okay. All right, so I was on Glow formal verification stage 2. Unverified smart contracts can lead, ooh, look at this, to catastrophic consequences. I read through this one yesterday. Data leaks, loss of assets. Describe your solution to the problem. Formal verification engine for the Glow language that enables automatic checking of programmer supplied assertions. Okay, this one is going need soon because we have smart contracts coming out. Okay. Cardano Linux distro for SBCs. What's an SBC again? I'm going to have to look it up. Third parties or vulnerabilities. Running a node is the answer, but compromise the resource on your computer. SBC nodes are the answer. Okay, let me go over here and look this one up. Let me check it on this list. Right, SBCs. This is why it's going to take a while. Cardano Linux distros. Now, I understand the third-party part, but what is an SBC? SBC nodes. Open Linux distro with tools. Running. Oh, on a single board computer. Okay, all right, there's a bazillion. It doesn't say single board computer, but it just kind of clicked. I'm like, yeah, okay, single board computer. Okay, so an open source Linux distro with tools to host and interact with a local Cardano node running on a SBC through local dApps. So basically, this is open source Linux distro with tools to host and interact with a local Cardano node running on a single board computer. Third parties are vulnerabilities. Okay, so that kind of makes you the third party. But it's open source. Okay, all right, that's cool. I'm going to leave that in the all category. Because, I mean, people are already running it on. I mean, I know it's a vulnerability. Maybe this one belongs. Maybe it belongs in the security category. But it is open source. So an open source. No, it belongs in this category. That's cool. That's cool. I'm going to leave it in all. PAB container log processor. Currently, the PAB has only the returns in Haskell returned as brackets in JSON. This value is irrelevant to any front end. Yeah, okay. Describe your solution. Develop a set of tools for parsing logs from the PAB so that they are queryable from the front end to determine state following transactions. Okay, this is probably important because I often hear, I work with the drip drop guys, and so a lot of times if you can't get information from the back end to the front end, or not necessarily that, but if there's differences between how the back end does things and the front end, it's got to get there somehow. So I'm going to say that one is definitely, no, we're missing a PAB, so we need this soon. I mean, we don't even have a PAB yet. We don't. I mean, damn, it's 2022. Where's the PAB? So that we need that soon. And I'm trying to not look at the teams. I got to be honest with you. There's some teams put in lots of proposals in lots of different categories. Their approach is they kind of do throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. All right. That's fine. I'm not going to pick out teams for doing that, but I will look at the star rating and kind of look at risk and cost a little bit later. At least I'll try. Okay, so Cardano Linux distro for SBCs. I kind of left that one here, but I mean, people are already kind of doing it. I'll say that'd be nice to have someday. Open source scalable OST. Here's another acronym, OST. All right, problem, and I had to look this one up. The spread of contributionism and the success of OST plan will create a huge demand for Towns personalized tools owned by the community. Towns, I don't know if they're talking about a physical town or virtual town. Describe your solution to the problem. Built on Cardano, the one small town ecosystem. So this is just the name of what the developer called it, but it's an ecosystem, will be open source and scalable at will by any new signed towns around the world. Not sure what they're getting at there, so I'm going to have to say I got to look at more data. Open source scalable OST ecosystem. Where's that at? The spread of contributionism. I don't even know what contributionism is. I mean, I guess contributionism is you make something and you give it to the world. Yeah, okay, all right. The one small town ecosystem will be open source and scalable. The world. Okay, the basic idea is to make the people of one small town not depend on anyone but themselves and grow businesses while contributing 3 hours a week for another initiative. This seems a little bit vague. Okay. Okay, I can't possibly read all of the assessor's comments. Open source scalable one small town. This is just too vague. I'm gonna just leave it here in the all category. I don't think it's in the wrong category, but I think it needs work there. Not sure what to do with that one. Okay. Data set, Stateful analytics. Full historical Stateful data sets for analysis. Hold on, let me go back here. For analysis and machine learning are currently not available through block explorers or existing sites. Describe your solution to the problem. Open source code repository for generating an analytics data set from a mixture of on-chain DB sync and external data sources. Not sure what they mean there. I do have to say, though, I mean, people use Prometheus, Grafana, RTView, and various tools to get data. So this is a good proposal, but I'm just going to let it sit here. Nice to have. I mean, we have stuff. Maybe, I don't know, all or nice to have. We can go nice to have. Maybe this goes a little bit deeper. Get data from multiple on-chain sources that will provide analytics on several pool operation-related topics. Now, we already have that stuff. I'm just going to leave it in the all category. Let's see here. I mean, we got Pool Tool, ADA Pools, Cardano Scan. You got node monitoring tools. There's a ton of those tools. Yes, I mean, it's good. It's a good proposal, but also, yes, we already have stuff like that. It's kind of hard, slippery slope for me to walk on, but data set, token, CNFT analytics. Someone's pinging me on Telegram. Let me check chat and check Telegram. There's a question about pools. I'm not talking about pools. I'm only doing Catalyst. Sorry about that. Is there any downside voting for proposal deemed priority 1 but is miscategorized? Yes. If something is high priority but miscategorized, if it's miscategorized, downvote it. I mean, I'm saying that now, but that's probably going to bite me in the ass. I don't know. You got to weigh it yourself. Something's really important, but in the wrong category. Well, that's a process problem with Project Catalyst. Like the SDGs, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, it doesn't belong in this category. I'm not sure why it's in that category. I'm not sure if there's a mechanism to prevent that kind of stuff, because you don't want apples competing with the oranges. You know, when you got an apple budget for 500,000 and an orange budget for $1 million, you know, you don't want to mix your apples and your oranges, right? So I don't know. Good question. All right. So problem statement, NFT data is disparate and lacking metadata standards, making it hard to query and gain insights. Describe your solution. Open source code repository for generating an analytic data set from a mixture of on-chain DB sync data as well as external data sources. Let me think. So there is some data available, but does it really get insights? Not really. I could be wrong. Let me put that one over here in this. That'd be nice to have. All right. Okay, so Cardano Omnibus UTXO management. Hopefully I answered your questions, but I'm not going to answer pool questions or drip drop questions. I'm going to stay focused on Catalyst. I apologize, but I got to do that because it's going to take a long time. All right, so Cardano Omnibus. UTXO management is handled suboptimally by wallets. Okay, this is definitely a big problem. dApps suboptimally by wallets, dApps and exchanges, causing downtime, higher fees, and degrades user experience. A solution is to write an input selection algorithm inside the Rust SDK for Cardano so that all projects implementing Cardano have access to state-of-the-art. Okay. This is a problem pretty much for all users. If you've noticed, the cost of your transactions are going up because as the wallet becomes more and more used, like if you use Daedalus, the more you use your Daedalus and the more the UTXOs become fragmented, the more the transactions cost because it's getting only these little bits of UTXOs. Kind of like change in your pocket, right? Are you dealing with one $20 bill or are you dealing with 2,000 pennies whenever you're doing a transaction? That's an analogy, just a rough estimate. Okay, so this is affecting the exchanges and the users. So, oops, where's this one at? What did I do with it? Okay, this one is need soon. That's important. We need that soon. Alrighty then. That shit needs to get fixed. Cardano blockchain data on BigQuery. Okay, so what does that mean? Users hosting independent Cardano DB sync is a repeat process. Yeah, it's a true statement. That's why Pool Tool was down like for the first day and a half of this epic. It was re-syncing the DB sync. Centralized database will eliminate redundancy and lower barriers to entry. Load blockchain data into BigQuery. What is BigQuery? What is BigQuery? To eliminate users' database setup process. A lot of times what people do is they'll keep a copy of the database sitting somewhere off to the side, like for a Cardano node, and they'll SCP it over. But this one's for DB sync, and DB sync does have problems. I don't know if BigQuery is the solution. I'm going to have to look that up. Let me see if there's more data in here. BigQuery. Oops, I got it back a page. That's the hard part of doing a live stream, is you get to fuck up on live streams. Okay, big, Command F, big query. Okay. What is BigQuery? Is that open source? Let me know in the chat if you know what it is. The information provided is insufficient to process. Load blockchain data into BigQuery. How does that get us to open source? How soon do we need it? Is there a gap? I think we need it. I think it's important. What is BigQuery? I hate using fucking Google. But, okay, all one word, BigQuery. BigQuery is a fully managed enterprise data warehouse. It helps you manage and analyze your data with built-in features like machine learning, geospatial analysis. BigQuery's serverless architecture lets you use SQL queries to answer your organization's biggest questions. So is BigQuery open source? Take advantage of BigQuery's free usage tier or no-cost sandbox. Is there a fee for this? There can't be a fee for that. Try BigQuery free. Contact sales. I'm sorry, man. Wrong category. Am I wrong? Let me know in the chat. I just now looked that up. I saw it earlier and I thought BigQuery would be like GitHub or something. What is it? Contact sales. Try BigQuery free. Cardano blockchain data on BigQuery. I'm ready to talk to sales. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I, the king, said, damn, Chad. I had to allow that message. I had to allow that message. BigQuery seems to be a Google data warehouse. Okay. It's out of here. I don't know how that's open source. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's just how shit goes. But that is not open source. Okay. Nft Based Authentication. This is interesting. I'm interested in this category. NFT's potential to act as a means of authentication, similar to auth, is not being used. Why? You know, sometimes you got to ask the question, why is it not being used? Is it too hard to get to? Like, is it too hard to put together the pieces to make it feasible? And is this offering a solution to that? Develop, maintain open source repository demonstrating how NFTs can be used to achieve OAuth 2.0 type authentication. Okay, I think that's important. Let's see here. Yeah, because a lot of times when people think of NFTs, they think of Bored Apes, Space Buds, you know, all the cool stuff, Crypto Nitties, Jet Chickens. But NFTs have a lot more application than just cartoon pictures. Anything that needs to be stored online in you know, a permanent database. You could put car registrations as an NFTs. You could put, marriage documents, but things that you want private, you'd want them as encrypted. You'd want them stored so that they can't be seen, but you can also have it permanently stored on chain. Titles, deeds, property ownership, all kinds of stuff. Flixa asked, Rick, what is that Trello tool? Trello is, it's kind of like Jira, where you can put tickets in, but it's not as powerful as Jira. Or it's like a poster board. Okay, imagine you take a dry erase board and you put yellow stickies on it, or pink yellow stickies, and then you write something on the pink yellow sticky, and then you put it on a poster board. And these are like little stickies that you can move around, right? And see that? And you can say, this is higher priority, this is lower priority, and you move them up and down. So it's just Trello. It's just Trello. It's a thing where you put these little stickies on. Okay. All right, so back on to BigQuery. Okay, I think we're done with that one. I don't see the connection there to open source. If you put on BigQuery, you just threw it on Google, so wrong category. All right. What am I on? Where did I leave off? Okay, oops. Ledger Live integration. Okay. Ledger Live integration. Now, this one is Ledger users need to rely on third-party wallets to manage their ADA. This causes confusion and likely increase the likelihood of users being hacked. Add support for ADA and native assets. Okay, I know this is the problem statement, but to me, this is not the number one problem. The number one problem is new users get confused. They get a Ledger, they install Ledger Live, they update the firmware, and then no Cardano. This, in my opinion, and that's what this is about, is my opinion. When I say, how soon do we need it? Is there a gap? How much does it cost? Do people need it? Are people asking for it? Is there a demand? The answer is yes, 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 yes. This, in my opinion, is number one. We needed that 2 years ago. We needed that like in July of 2020 when Shelly Mainnet launched. I've trained several people in the last several months on a ledger, setting up their ledger. And I said, go into Ledger Live, set it up. Okay, now ignore it. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? It confuses the hell out of new users. We need that. We need that a long time ago. We needed that a long time ago. And I've read that one thoroughly. So am I doing confirmation bias? Yes. You don't like it? Find a different expert. There's other ones out there. Maybe I'm not even an expert, but there's other people out there. You can ask them. All right. Let's see. Open sourcing Blockfrost API. This one is very important, okay? Blockfrost is serving in the terabytes per month. Terabytes per month. Terabytes. Because all the developers are using it. It's in high demand. So what is it? What are we saying here? So what this one is, Blockfrost is the most used API as a service. Yep, it sure is. Pool PM uses it. Different wallets use it. Describe your solution. We would like to help this awesome community open source. Okay, so this is a procurement. Now this is important. So this is important to understand. Let me find it in here. Let me find it in here. Okay, so is it high demand? Yes. God, why the hell am I having? I need to just fucking search for it. God damn it. Blockfrost. I'm on the wrong window. I thought I was on this window. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. So you can see. Blockfrost is the most used API. So this already exists. Here's something important to understand. If something already exists, the risk is low because it's already built. So there isn't a risk of failure that it either won't get built or when it does get built, it'll be broken. Okay, so this is a low risk, but it's high cost. Basically, this is procuring block frost. So these guys already did a ton of work to build block frost. They already did a ton of work. The product already exists. So it looks like what they're offering is to hand it over in the form of open source. And they're saying, look, we want some money for doing that, which is fair. I mean, you got to do that. People's time is worth money. If you're writing code for open source, you're writing code for something that's time and you're not spending writing code for Microsoft, Apple, Google, whoever. So this is important. It's at least, this is at least need soon. Now, I did get some inputs from some experts who would put it in need now. So I'm kind of like right here. So I'm going to put it in need now. Well, I'm going to go need soon. I'll probably move it into need now. So I'm going to put that at the top. I'm going to prioritize it. Open sourcing. It's at the top. Okay. Heavily used product. It's available, but it's not open source, and it's already been built. Okay, so where am I at? Transaction editor and wallet. Let's see. Cardano CLI is cumbersome to use. Yep, that's a true statement. On large and complex transactions. Yeah, it's even harder to use on large and complex transactions. We don't even have multi-sig yet. I mean, it's on the CLI, but there's no interface that does multi-sig. Describe your solution to a problem. High-level declarative transaction editor that fully integrates with your wallet, Cardano node, and your text editor. That is good. That's good. That's something that is needed. Can't even do multi-sig on the wallet user interfaces yet. So we need... Gonna put in need soon. Yeah. Okay. NFT. Whoop, did I do that one? Oh, NFT authorized NFT minter. Did we get all of them? Holy crap. That didn't take as long as I thought, but we're not done yet. Got to go through it again. NFT authorized minter. Minter contract. This is a smart contract. Okay, currently there's no way to perform a decentralized authorized on-demand token minting from a smart contract. Now, people can sell them via a smart contract, right, on CNFTIO. But this is saying mint them. Develop a smart contract that using specific metadata as input. Mint the tokens on demand if a governance NFT was included in the transaction. This is a neat idea. I think I need to understand it more. However, there is not a minter smart contract. So at least here, maybe here, but at least here. Okay, so that was all of them so far. I mean, not all of them, but we're not done. It's nowhere near done. It's just going to take a while. Okay, so everything either went into the wrong category, these ones over here, or I left them in the all. They fit the category, but I need to look at it a little further and have a think on it. Wait a second, why is this one here? I missed this one. I don't think I did that one. Did I do that one? Yes. Did I do that one? I missed this one. My bad. Okay. Glow formal verification. Unverified smart contracts can lead to catastrophic consequences. Data leak. Describe your solution. Formal verification engine for the Glow language that enables automatic checking of programmer supplied assertions. Okay. This is important. I'll tell you why this is important. Okay. Hold on. Where's that? Oh, shit. There's two of them. Okay. So here. It's like this guy right here. It's like this guy. Okay. Here's why formal verification on even things like Glow are so important. Okay. I saw a demo one time, literally in a basement, okay, where someone wrote a piece of code. They wrote an application to play poker, and they're like, yeah, so-and-so's going to Las Vegas to introduce this to the casino, blah, 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 blah industry, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay, check it out. And so I started playing it. It plays just like any poker game that you would play in a bar, where you put in like 4 quarters, or if you're in the UK, you put in a pound coin. Or if you're in a euro, you put in euro coin, and you play poker, and you can win money, right? You see them in bars, but you also see them in big casinos and stuff like that. And it was professional grade. It was really good. So I'm playing with it. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Play just like poker. And then the person said, watch this. And they hit like, Control C or something like that. They hit a key sequence, and it dealt 3 jacks and 2 aces. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then hit Control C again, and it dealt like a full house. And I'm like, dude, that code has fuckery going on inside it. You can't be taking that kind of stuff to Las Vegas. They will freaking kill you. You'll be wearing cement shoes, laying out in the freaking desert. But they were doing it. They were headed to Vegas. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I never saw this. I'm gone. That was like 25 years ago. So whoever delivered that code is probably in the desert wearing cement shoes or whatever at the bottom of a river. So yeah, this is why this formal verification is so important. So you can make sure that the code doesn't do something that it's not supposed to do. Right? At least give the developer the opportunity to verify that the code won't do something it's not supposed to do. All right, so let me check chat. I got to pause and get some coffee. I'm parched. Not really parched, but dry wintertime. Okay. So, any questions? Brian says, sorry to go back to the Trello topic, but how did you get the cards built in Trello? Did you just export it out of Catalyst and import the CSV file? Brian, no. I wish. I was looking for an export button. I could not find it. I just copy and pasted every one of them line by line. And if you were to try to do all of them, it would take about 3 days. Maybe not that long. But I do need to find where's the export CSV feature so I can import the CSV into Trello and then start sorting from there. But yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see here. I didn't find where to export the CSV from Idea Scale. Hi, Arthur Prestige. Jesper Test. I see your test. All right, so let's see here. What I got to do next? So I got to ask myself the questions. How soon do we need it? What are the gaps? How much does it cost? What are the risks? Are people asking for it, right? I know this big overall looks nice and pretty. How can we ensure the Cardano ecosystem is built on a framework which is owned by the community and equally accessible to all? Okay, now these words, I mean, they make me feel good. They give me a nice warm fuzzy, but it does not help me make hard decisions. You're not going to change the world by making yourself feel good. You're going to change the world by making hard decisions, and that's what we're doing. Okay, let me get some coffee. Just give me a minute. Sweetheart? Okay, sorry. Anybody still there? Yeah, okay. So, let me sanity check this list, all right? Do a sanity check. What does the star rating look like? All right, what is the scale of the star ratings? Here's the star ratings done by the community advisors. Thank you to all community advisors. I would like to extend a thank you for the hard work and effort you put into Project Catalyst in reviewing these proposals, assessing them, giving the proposers the feedback. If anyone's interested in being a community advisor, also known as a CA for short, that information is also available on IdeaScale. Now, the community advisors gave this one. So how do I want to do this? What is the star rating? All right, so I have Ledger Live over here. Now let me check the star rating to make sure that it's not like seriously frowned upon in some way. So this right now, the Ledger Live is my highest priority one. Okay, and then some of these need to go over there too, and we're going to look at the cost. So, Ledger Live integration. Okay, it got 5 stars, 6 reviews by community advisors. So it got effectively addresses 4, 4, 4, 5 of addressing the challenge. Okay, overall rating of good. All right, so that one's all right. Now the scale goes from, like this, for example, is a 1.5 star rating. Okay, so this one got a 1.5 star rating. This is like the sniff test. When you do something, you go through decision process and you stop and say, does it make sense, right? Does this data, does this chart, how it's spread out, does it make sense? And you can compare it to other things to kind of get an idea, does it make sense? Now, Cardano Linux distro for SBCs is rated 1.5 stars, and coincidentally, I put it in the wrong category over here. Wait, Cardano Linux, no, that's not that one. That's the SDG one. So Cardano Linux distro for SBC. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. That one happens to be 2.5 stars. So that one's over here. Okay, nice to have. So I'd probably move that down the list, right? Because it got a low rating. So Ledger Live was here. Let me look at BlockFrost. Open sourcing BlockFrost. That one's up at the top of my list. Okay, that one's 4.5, almost 5 stars. All right. Omnibus. Omnibus got 4 stars. PAB. Glow in a PAB, 4 stars. Where's the PAB container processor? I got to move this thing. I'm having trouble seeing it. Okay. PAB container. About 4.2 stars. PAB container log processor. 4 stars and a corner of a star. So almost, no, a little bit over 4 stars. Glow on the PAB. 4 stars. Okay, so the list is not totally insane. Transaction editor and wallet. Five stars. Okay, not totally insane. I'm not totally insane. All right. Nice to have someday. All right. Chainlib plugins. Almost 4 stars, about 3.75 stars. For the website. NAMI tests, 3 stars. Chainlib, 2 stars. Could move that down the list. Turning dev into blockchain devs. Five stars. Android SDK. Two and a half stars. Can I just do send to bottom? Is there a button for that? This moves it somewhere else. Yeah, it doesn't because it send to bottom. Okay. Game Changer CLI. 4.5, almost 5 stars. Learn, 4 stars. Procedural 3D content. Four stars. Flutter. 5 stars. .9 stars. Pretty far up there. Smart contract library. 4 stars. NFT. Four stars. Four stars. Five stars. Nft Based Authentication. Okay, let me check for questions. Tater Sighting says, hey, Rick, going for number 1. Dang right, we're going for number 1. Like, if we just hold, the rest of the market goes, no, I'm just kidding. So let's see. Jesper says, appreciate you doing this. Help me with a lot of voting also. If it was up to me, we should have a lot of proposals and more quality ones at impossible to manage 1,200. Yeah, there's a massive number of proposals. There's a lot. And there's some people like James Dunseith. James is welcome to come on over here. James, if you're out there, you're probably not watching my YouTube video. Come on over here and go through this with me, and we will sort and prioritize. Yeah, I can't do this on my own. If there are other people who are willing to do other categories and help sort and prioritize and make voter recommendations, feel free to do so. I highly encourage you to do so, because when I did a Twitter poll, I had 7 out of 8 people would like to see other experts, however you define an expert, it doesn't matter, pick your own. Everybody picks their own. 7 out of 8 people wanted experts to do stuff like this to help prioritize voting. This is going to be my Rick's list that I end up posting on Twitter. Okay. So where did I leave off? NFT Based Authentication. And then the one right below it was Cardano Linux distro for SBCs for single board computers. Okay. So SBC, single board computers. Sometimes I don't always remember acronyms in the context that they're in. Okay, third parties or vulnerabilities. This one got 1.8 stars. It got really low. Maybe the person reading it didn't know what SBC meant. You need to spell that out. You got to spell it out. Like, is it a rock pie, a raspberry pie? Okay, and then Android SDK. If I make a mistake, let me know in the chat, because some people are going to watch this video later on and they're going to go, Rick made a mistake. He didn't click the button. Okay, fuck it. I don't care. At least I'm trying. Okay. So if I make a mistake, let me know, please. I'm not, I'm humble enough that if you tell me I made a mistake, I will listen to your feedback and I will try to fix it. All right. So Android SDK, 2.5 stars, kind of low, pretty low on the list. So I'm just going to leave it down there. So the scale kind of goes from about 1.5 stars to 5 stars. So not bad. Actually, the star rating seems all right. So what I ended up with so far is I have one over here, Ledger Live Integration. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the need soon. Then I have nice to haves. Then these still fit in the category. These all fit in the category. The all, right? But they're still, okay, maybe I got to take a closer look. Like, are people asking for it? And how much are they asking for it? It's very subjective to some extent, but if you have enough time, you can do massive analysis. And then, wrong category. Does this pass the sniff test? So I was doing the sniff test. Does it match the star rating? Kind of in general, sort of. And then I kind of changed the priority where they sit on this board. And then the wrong category, open source for the environment. Yeah, okay. I think it's in the wrong category. Localize your OA for Vietnam market. It's important, but I think it's in the wrong category. Proposal framework tool. How to write better proposals. Okay, yeah, that's important, but it does not belong in the open source developer category. Just my opinion. You don't like it, use your own opinion. All right, Fund7 proposals and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Definitely in the wrong category. And if the UN wants, they can pay for it. We don't need to pay for it with Catalyst funds. This category only has 200,000. Next round of funding has a total. The entire round of Fund 8 has $12.8 million. That's a lot of money. If you're smart about making decisions and we vote well, we win. That's a lot of money. You can build a lot of stuff for $12.8 million. I'll give you an example. $12.8 million. All right. Let's say you wanted to build a supercar and you contract out getting the engine built, and you contract out the frame of the car, and you contract the body panels and stuff like that, and then you do most of the work yourself putting it all together, and you could probably build this massively awesome supercar prototype for $12.8 million. Okay? But if you take the $12.8 million and you scatter it out to the wind, and a bunch of people are making YouTube videos with that money, and they're building coffee shops in the middle of Nevada with that money, and they're just doing all this random shit, you ain't going to build a supercar. You're going to have a bunch of YouTube videos and coffee shops, okay? But if you manage it well, you can build your supercar prototype for that much money. Okay, it's just an example. It just came to mind. I just kind of wanted to bring that up as an example, whatever. Okay, any other questions? 1.5 star seems bad. Yeah, this 1.5 seems bad, I guess. I mean, assuming that the assessors did their research and their work, I'm going to take their word for it to some degree. So it looks like it passes the sniff test. That was the key. So we got through the sniff test. Now, last thing we need to do, not the last thing. There's never a last thing. Always something else. I'm going to apply funding. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? And I'm going to go through here and say, right before I apply the funding, do we need it now? Do we need it soon? Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Okay, this is the hard part. Now we got to see how much it costs. How much money do we have? This fund has $200,000. Okay, so I'm going to go down here. Damn it, I got to move a stupid little picture out of the way. Okay, there's 29 proposals. I sorted this by a list. Let me see if I can. I think it's in here too. Yeah, 200,000. Okay. So I'm going to go back to list view over here. All right, so we have $200,000. Ledger Live. Okay. This one is 75K. Damn it. I forgot the K part. That's important. 3 orders of magnitude. Okay. Block Frost. $119K. And you know, that's probably pretty cheap, to be honest with you. 119K is pretty cheap because, you know, Block Frost is serving in the range of 40 to 60 terabytes of data per month with all the stuff they have running. That's a pretty good price. Probably get more for it. Not sure. Okay. UTXO management. Fuck. Okay. Sorry. UTXO. UTXO. Time is money. Money is time. 40,000. I don't even know if I want to go into risk assessment. I don't think I'm going to have to because, you know, is it high risk, low risk, medium risk? Oops. Let me fucking do these consistently. Because some things are high risk, and if a really good team does them, that lowers the risk. So then that makes it like medium risk. If you have high risk, but you got a super good team, that brings the risk down. PAB container log processor. Now what I'm going to do is, if anyone asks me on social media, hey Rick, why did you put X, Y, or Z in column X, Y, or Z, right? I'm going to say, watch the video. And yes, it's like, I don't know how long this video is. How long we've been going? Like an hour, 2 hours? Fuck, I don't even know. 3.5K. I'm an American, so I use a decimal for a point. But I do understand that some people use commas for a decimal point. Okay, 3.5K. And I also do month, day, year, not day, month, year. No, I'm just kidding. I understand all day formats. PAB container log processor, 3.5K. 40K. Now you see where we're going with this, right? Glow formal verification, stage 2. Glow. This is very important to put. It's very serious. It's very important. There's a lot of people put a lot of work, a lot of time to get these products out here. $63K. Now here's the biggest problem with this category is it only has 200K. You see the problem we have? This is a serious problem. There's only 200K in this category. That's retarded. That's like fucking retarded. I mean, why is there only 200K in this category? It's like the most important category. It really is. But it only has 200K. Why? Because all of that funding, I can't remember how much it was, $8.8 million. It got diluted into all these other categories. That funding, if you have a couple of very important categories, the funding gets siloed into those important categories. But if you start making all these other categories, that funding gets diluted. Now you only got 200K to use in the ultra most important category in the entire Project Catalyst. Okay? That's a problem. That's a process problem or a systemic problem that needs to get fixed. Oh, I put this on the wrong one. Glow on the pad is 63K. Thanks for help. Thanks for catching that, folks. I appreciate it. 63K. Glow on the pab is 63K. Did y'all catch that? You didn't catch me, did you? You're just laughing at me. If I make a mistake, let me know. I am certainly open to fix my mistakes. Then glow on stage 2 is 76. Like we've already run out of money. I don't even need to do these columns. These columns are done for. They're done for. We already ran out of money. We don't have none left. There's no point in me even wasting my time. Transaction editor and wallet. $16,000. This is what we called a configuration control board where I used to work. When we did this is we'd go through and prioritize based on gaps, needs, demand, impact, like, you know, how bad was it if this problem continues to exist? Yeah, it's many different priorities. It took a lot of people. It'd take 8 or 10 of us sitting around a table with a couple of lead people who had more experience. And to do, I don't know, to do 100 of them, it would take like 2 or 3 hours. It was brutal. It was fucking brutal. To do the entire Project Catalyst like this, it probably take 8 hours a day for maybe 3 days, I think. Maybe more. It would take a couple of people. You know, I can't possibly do this thoroughly by myself. It would help if I had other people in here providing inputs and beating me up. But I can at least show you, and then maybe next time around other people will join me. All right, let me check chat, and I'm going to start going through funding. Oh, let me get a calculator. Get a calculator here. All right, so any questions? Brian says, it sounds like we need to submit a proposal for Fund 8 to build a Trello board. You know, it would be really cool is this tool here, this voting tool that has a star rating is, if the devs who built this made them like this, so you can drag and drop them and sort the ranking. Like right now, this is set to random. Review score in descending order. So this one got the highest votes on review. This is weird. Oh man, I'm glad you said that. This one got the highest votes, 5 stars. But for me, I got it as in the wrong category. Does that make sense? Am I wrong? It's in the wrong category. It got 5 stars. It's only $3,000. Doesn't belong there. I'm not trying to be rude to Vietnam. People beat me up about, okay, I put grow Cardano, grow South America, grow Cardano, grow Alaska, grow Cardano, grow Russia, grow Cardano, grow Antarctica. Okay, I'm not picking on specific countries. If you build an open source system, it applies to all countries. I wish we could do every language in every wallet, but that wallet is a product that is owned by Emergo. It has product ownership. Emergo needs to pay for that. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to pontificate. I'm just saying that's why it's in the wrong category. And here it got rated 5 stars by 2 reviews by community advisors. So this tool could use some improvement. This is a good tool. Yeah. But there you go. So my rating is different. My rating is different. And I'm okay with that. I don't mind. All right, so that was a good question. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to go off. Who decides how many dollars per category? IOG. That is a really good question, Brent. Let's ask IOG. Who decides the dollars per category? That needs to be voted on. Please let them know in social media and say, how did you end up with only 200,000? I could be wrong. I thought it was 8 million. How'd you end up with only 200,000 in probably what's considered one of the most important categories? I'm sure I'm not alone on that. Some people think building a cafe in Death Valley is as important as building infrastructure. Yeah, building cafes and hubs, they're good to have physical presence. They don't scale well. You're going to use a lot of funding for that. There's a trade-off. There's a trade-off. I don't think it fits in the open source category. I think it fits in the miscellaneous category. There's other categories for that. Okay, all right. Looks like we're good on questions. Okay, so now let me go through this bit here. Okay, so we got I don't even know if I need a calculator. So we got $200,000. Okay. So if we take 75K plus, and we start going down the list, 119K plus 40K plus 3.5 plus 76 plus 63 plus 16. I got more down there? No. Okay, $392,000. $392,000 in just my need now and my need soon, based on demand, users, developers. What do they need? What are they asking for? What are the gaps? What's missing? This other stuff is also important. This is also important. Nice to have someday. It's important. Okay. This is what I consider more important. And we already ran out of money. So, what do we do? Well, this is going to be upvote. Right? It's going to be, these are, I'm going to put upvotes over there. Need now, upvote. Need soon. Abstain. Nice to have. Abstain. Maybe. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I should do this different. Abstain. Maybe. If people randomly vote for these, it's going to compete for fund for these. So you might want to downvote them. I'm going to have a think on that. Let me know. Let me know if you think, if it didn't make this category, need soon, need now, should it be a downvote? Okay, and then this is downvote. That's all there's to it. Wrong category. It doesn't mean they're malicious. It doesn't mean they're bad. It means you shouldn't be paying for it out of that bucket. And you definitely don't want it competing with the more important stuff. Okay. All right. Is there stuff over here that makes me feel good? Does it give me a warm fuzzy? Is it important? Sure. But you don't want it competing with the most important stuff. Think about your home budget. You know, if you got to pay your rent, you got to buy your taco shells, you got to eat, you got to pay for your heating. Right now it's freezing and it's snowing. Like, those are really, really, really important. And you pay that stuff first. Then it's nice to go to the movies. It's nice to get carry-out tacos, but they're never better than mine. It's nice to go to do things that are entertaining. It's nice to go skiing, right? You know, those are all nice to haves, but you need to pay the rent first. You got to pay for food. You got to pay for heating, right? You got to put your clothes on. You got to put your shoes on, right? And people need that, and it's important. Okay. Then when you have money left over, you can pay for going to the movies and buy some popcorn, right? So just kind of putting it in perspective. So we ran out of money. So what do we do? What do we do? We draw a line, right? I'll put these over here. We start going down the list just like the voting app is going to do. And the hive mind of people are going to figure this out. You know, if you let enough people vote, and they vote real reasonably, they'll figure it out. Brian asks, Rick, if I have 500 ADA in the voting allocation and I downvote a project that has 500 worth of upvote, does my downvote cancel the other 500 upvote? Yes, it does. So you can double your voting power if you take half of the items that you upvote. So if you upvote a bunch of stuff, like $200,000 worth of stuff, and then you go find the crappiest stuff and you downvote $200,000 worth of that, you just doubled your voting power, right? So if you have, here's all the stuff. If you upvote, you get a little bit of voting power, but if you also downvote other stuff that you don't think belongs there, you increased your voting power by doing that. Good question. Hopefully I answered it. Okay, so now the question that remains is, what's the most important? Is getting the Glow products more important than Omnibus? Fixing the UTXO that is messing with people's wallets. I'm going to put UTXO above that. Is the transaction editor more important than Glow? I don't think so. So I'm going to put Glow above that. Is fixing UTXO that is a current issue more important than Glow? Yeah, it is. I'm going to put it above that. So there you go. Confirmation bias confirmed. And remember, every human on planet Earth is biased. It's how you manage it. I know I'm biased. I'm not going to say I'm not. I try not to be in some cases, but if you get enough people together with different views and different perspectives, people look at it from different angles, different values, different experiences, you can mitigate bias. You can counterbalance it. That's why it might help if I have more people go through this with me. Is the PAB container, gosh, we need to anything to get the Plutus application back end out there. Developers need that stuff. Like, for example, like with Sunday Swap and the scoopers, it's kind of like a type of PAB, I guess you could say. It's like a mechanism to compensate for having a lack of a PAB, and it works well, but it's just an example. Is it more important than Glow? Is it more important than this? Is it more important than this? It kind of falls right in this zone. Okay, so there we go. All right, so we have $200,000, and that gives us $75,000 plus $119,000 equals $194. So the top two items of all this, how long has this video been going? Like, I don't know, freaking hour and a half? Okay, so what do I got left? The top two items consume almost the entire budget after all that. Are you happy now? No, you're not. You're pissed off because you want more money in that category. So, there you go. So what do I do? What do I recommend for Rick's picks? So I'm going to add $40K. 234, I'm over the budget. I got 3 items out of that list of 29 we started with. And I'm down to this right here. That's okay. I just think more money needs to go into that category and get rid of the categories that make YouTube videos and coffee shops. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Cardano needs built out. That's my number one priority. All the cool stuff comes later once we solve managing wallets, managing multi-sig, the kind of stuff that you can do in the open source category. Doesn't have to be, but probably a good idea. So what am I going to recommend? So I'm going to recommend that people vote for Ledger Live and then pick one of the two following. Open sourcing Blockfrost or managing UTXO. Pick one of the two. PAB container log processor. Go on a PAB formal verification. And you know, I think what will happen is recommend voting for this one and then pick one of the two following. I'm wondering, I'm going to put this one here because, well, no. That one goes back up there. Okay, vote on this one and then one of the following. And I'm going to put them in order. I'm going to put them in that order. So you can pick this one and this one. And there's only enough money left to get this one. And that's it. So I'll just have to leave that to the voters. So that's my list. That's what I got for you. What do you think? Roast me. And I'll show you how this works. You can assign a value to this. You can call this Pry1, just like I did at the beginning. Let me know if you got questions. Let me know if, whatever, okay, in the chat. I can call this get rid of this column. Need now, nice to have, everything else in the wrong category. There we go. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but I think it's pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad. Beat me up in the chat. What I do wrong. Mike S. has a good point in the chat. He says downvote all their proposals. You know, he's right. Some people will do that. They'll say, look, we need this, this, and this. We need this, this, and this, and this. And then downvote everything else. Why? You might get a random whale that has like 8 million ADA and they just click on stuff that makes them feel good. And what you end up with is a bunch of candy canes and gumdrops and, ice cream sandwiches instead of getting Cardano base layer built, right? We're still working on layer one scaling, connecting the network giving developers access to the network that they need, making tools developers need to build out apps and games, right? We need to fill in those gaps. Open source is a good way to do it because then they can all access it, copy it, and modify it for their needs. And then there's a bunch of stuff in there that's kind of like raindrops and gumdrops and candy canes, and it's like we're not there yet. We're not there for the candy canes and gumdrops yet. Someday in the future. Now, let me tell you something. Let me explain something too, because I know I'm going to get beat up on social media about this. I know I'm going to get the shit beat out of me, but I don't give a fuck. This stuff over here, right, in the abstain and nice to have someday, that doesn't mean just because you abstain or downvote, just because you abstain or downvote doesn't mean it's bad. It just means not today, right? That means come back and fund 10, 11, 12, or build it in 2020, build it in 2023, 2024, right? We're not ready for that. As a matter of fact, some of this, in order to prevent that money from competing, you might want to downvote. I'm going to have a think on that. Before I write my list and send it out, I'm going to have a think on, would this be downvote, and then this is abstain, and this is upvote, because these will get more visibility. This will be priority 2. All right, this will be priority 3. There we go. It's the same thing. It means the same thing. It means the same thing. Priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. But we ran out of money in priority 1. We ran out of money in the priority 1 category. That means we need more money in that category. In that category. That's just my opinion, though. I don't make these decisions. IOG does. CF does. So if you don't like it, talk to them. They don't listen to me. A little bit, maybe. Create the Unimaginable says, oh my gosh, I forgot about the whales. I'm going to downvote. Yeah, you need to downvote stuff. If you don't want it to compete with your upvotes, you need to downvote it. Some random whale, 10 million ADA, they see something, oh, that makes me feel good. I'm going to click on it. Pfft, there goes your vote. Got wrecked. But the more smart people you have voting, I mean, whales aren't stupid. Whales are smart too. That's why they're whales. They're pretty smart. Some of them will look at data like this. Have you covered Gamers on Chained? Yeah, I hit on that one. Yeah, Cardano Convo asked, have you covered Gamers on Chained? Yeah. Cardano Convo, where that one was asked, Gamers on Chained. Hold on, let me go here. Let me go here. Hold on, where's it at? So I don't see. Oh, Gamers on Chained. Oh, I see what you mean. No, I did not cover this. I thought you were thinking. I thought you were asking me about Game Changer. I got confused. I thought you were asking about Game Changer. I did not do Gamers on Chained. That is a separate category. And the good thing is, oh, you know what? This actually, Game Changer CLI might be, no, that has nothing to do with games. So no, never mind. Yeah, Gamers on Chained is a different category. So this money, this 250,000 ADA, does not compete with the 200,000 ADA in this category. You see this? Different categories. That money is not competing with each other. So pay close attention in the Catalyst app what category you're voting, right? This 200,000, these categories are not competing with that one. Thanks for asking that question. I got to do this one. Gamers on Chain. Because I'm a gamer. So I'm not an expert gamer. Sometimes I suck. Depends on the game. But I do know how to prioritize. So Cardano Convo hopefully answered that. I was curious as to your thoughts on some of those. I would have to look at them further. I cannot answer your question right now. I would have to look at them further. And Jesper brings up a good point. So Gamers on Chain got 250K, but open source got 200K. All right, now you see what I'm saying. So Gamers on Chain, 250K, I'm good with that. Getting gamers in crypto on Cardano is very important if you want to bring in new users. Gamers are already on the internet. Gamers are already playing with in-game currency. If a gamer is not into crypto, they are like that close to being in crypto. That's an easy win. Getting gamers that aren't in crypto to adopt crypto is a very short leap. It's a very easy win. So it is very important. So 250,000 ADA for Gamers on Chain is good. That's a good, it seems good. I'll have to look at it further. I got to look at it further. The problem is there's only 200K for open source development. That is a problem. And that category is too low. And meanwhile, you have other categories. You got categories for DAOs. Okay, I'll give you an example. There's a category for DAOs. Okay, DAOs are great. There's not a huge demand for DAOs. It's a cool buzzword. How much money? 500,000 ADA for DAOs. How many people have you heard asking for DAOs? Okay. I think it's a cool buzzword. I think it's a big leap. I don't think it's worth 500,000. I wish I was involved with the decision-making process to allocate money, but I'm not. But I would not have put 500,000 on DAOs and 200,000 on open source. Catalyst natives, Cody, pay with ADA plugin, $100,000 in its own category. Probably okay. I'm probably okay with that. I'll go ahead and look at a couple of these while we're here. I'm pretty much done. This is the list. So number 1, vote for Ledger Live. Number 2, pick between open source. Oops, hold on. Where the fuck did I put that? Yeah, open source, Cardano Omnibus UTXO, PAB, Glow. And I'd recommend pick one of these top 2 or 3 or 4. Right. And this one, hopefully, will probably get, if I were a guessing man, I'd think what's going to win is this one, and this one, and this one. And this one will win regardless of one of these two. But these two cannot win in the same bucket as this one. Now, if Ledger Live doesn't win at all, you'll get open source, Omnibus, and PAB container log and transaction editor. And then these two will fall off the table. Something's going to fall off the table. This is my top list right here. They're not all going to make it. There's not enough money. All right. Community events. 200,000. Yeah, that's probably good. Community events are good because you want people. But usually community events are the fans that you already have are getting together to sing Kumbaya and have a couple beers. That's what community events are. But the good thing is it increases exposure, brings in new people, so that's important. Meaningful participation. I don't know what the Cardano Foundation should be paying for. Sometimes I don't even know what they do, not to beat up on them, but sometimes I wonder, okay, we got some trees planted, yay. All right, what else is there? Lobbying for favorable legislation. This one is important, and I'm okay with a low number for now, so that number's probably fine. This year is going to be important in the United States. I have a personal financial interest. You don't need to pay me to do it. I'm going to, and I have been, hound my senators and congressmen. That's not lobbying, but it is important. but we'll see. This will probably need to be more in the future. Depends. You got to see which way the political winds blow. You don't want this to be a massive amount all the time. Plus, there's like 200 countries in the world. So are you going to take $75,000 and divide it by 200 countries? You know what I'm saying? Probably not. Probably not. You know what? You could... Yeah, probably not. Catalyst rapid funding mechanisms. This is probably important to get money in the hands of the developers, but I don't know if it's $250,000 important. This one could probably come down and move some of that money over to open source. DAOs, definitely not $500,000. Definitely not. If someone's interested in a DAO, they're not interested in getting $500,000 for it. Definitely way overkill. I mean, at this point, get rid of the whole category. If people are going to make DAOs, they're going to make DAOs. For example, Drip Drops plans on being a DAO. We have a plan to get there. It's not detailed enough to execute, but we have a general idea. It's just an example. Doesn't require $500,000 to do it. Probably get rid of that category. So there's $500,000 you could put in open source development right there. Plus, that's rife for corruption. You got to think about that. Some of these categories, you put too much money in them, people are going to go after it. They're going to throw like 20 different proposals at it, and with all these different words and flowery words, and they're just going to try to suck the money out of it. So you got to think about that. Connecting the Japan community. This one I'm kind of on the fence. It should not be its own category. It should be in the miscellaneous category. I'm sorry, but we can't take 50,000 ADA and throw it at 190 different countries. Where's my calculator? Where's my calculator? Let me get the calculator out. Calculator. There we are. So if we take $50,000 times 194 countries on planet Earth, not including Antarctica, is $9.7 million. Sorry. Ain't got the money for that. Now, Japan is important, yeah. But, I mean, what about Morocco and Antarctica and Madagascar? We can't leave them out. We need to cover Antarctica. There's penguins down there. They make Linux. All right, so what was the other funding category? So let me go back. Shit. Okay. This didn't need funding. Japan did not need its own category. That should go miscellaneous. The Connecting Japan one. All right. So I love Japan. I go there. I used to go there a lot. I'm going to go there on vacation. Shit. Where else is all this money going? Disarm cyber disinformation. $100,000. Shit, I do that for free on Twitter. You don't need $100,000 for that. Yeah, it's probably a good category. 100,000 seems reasonable. That's FUD. How to counter FUD. dApps and integrations. Oh shit, this is important. $250,000. What? Get the fuck. They need more money for that. What application will provide the most value for end users? Yeah. What applications will provide the most value for end users in 2022? dApps and integrations. This is kind of along the lines of the open source, but this doesn't require the open source. It has similar goals. Quality dApps and integrations will increase utility and adopt Cardano. A little bit too broad, though. Put that in the open source category and send that money over to open source. No, wait, this one doesn't require. Yeah, I would have take 50,000 out of this bucket and put it over in the open source bucket. Gamers, how much was that? 250,000. What blockchain gaming app should be developed to achieve mass adoption? Wow. Okay, I'll give you an example of what not to do. Don't drop 10,000 NFTs and expect gamers to adopt it. You need a lot more than 10,000. It's going to take millions. The good games all the gamers are playing, Millions play it. Oh, look, there's 2.5 billion gamers out there. Okay. Yeah, gamers is an easy leap. This is probably a good number. Probably a good number. You could probably dial it back a little because the NFT makers can make money off the NFTs in order to make the game products if they use NFTs. But if they use a game engine like Unreal Engine or something, then it's hard to say. I don't know. Gamers important though. Okay, these ones need to go. Grow any country, grow Cardano. $500,000. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my gosh. I have nothing against any region. Okay. Grow Asia, grow Cardano. Grow North America, grow Cardano. Grow Central America, grow Cardano. Grow Eastern Europe, grow Cardano. I can take 10 different regions, $500,000. Now that's $5 million. We can't do it. It's unsustainable. Unsustainable. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying that's where you're putting your money. If you develop the apps and the dApps, the people in different countries are going to use them. It's all online. Crypto's online. I would argue that some of my choices are actually more inclusive than other people's choices because my choices don't isolate to one specific country. I did include Africa in one, but that was in building DeFi, and that DeFi can be used in any country. If you can make DeFi work in Africa, you make it work anywhere. I'll read the details of this one, but I just got to say there's a couple others. Grow any region or grow any country. Grow Cardano. I don't agree with them. Get rid of them. That's $500,000 that could have gone into the open source fund. $500,000 right there. Tell me I'm wrong. Seeding Cardano's grassroots. Okay, you probably don't need this. We already have it. We have 1 million people, 1.1 million staked wallets. I did a poll on Twitter. That equates to about 700,000 actual people Cardano has a grassroots. Take that $200,000, put it over in the open source development fund. Get rid of it. You don't need that. What's the difference between this and the community fund? There's a community events fund up here, and this is Seeding Cardano Grassroots. How to encourage new teams to deploy DeFi solutions on Cardano. Okay, I see. The title doesn't match the description. Okay, so this title of the fund doesn't match the description. All right, go fix your shit, whoever's in charge of that. Scale up Cardano's community hubs. Okay, again, a third category, $350,000. Way more money than this entire... You see the problem here? Who is putting the money in the buckets? That's who we need to talk to. How did you decide to put $350,000 in scale up Cardano community hubs? And yet, there's also community events. I know they're different. Community event would be like in a hotel conference room or a get together, buy some pizza, whatever. But there's $200,000 over there. You know, here's what can happen. If you put enough money in the open source, I could, for example, I could go out and talk to people who build stuff on Ethereum and say, hey, bring your products over to Cardano. They're already well developed. Just build a Cardano interface, put it in this fund. Boom. You have instant, not an instant, but 3 to 6 months. You have massive capability built on Cardano in a very short period of time without having to build coffee shops and make YouTube videos. Okay, you actually have infrastructure that people are using at the coffee shop while watching a YouTube video. Let's see here. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying you got to make tough decisions where you want to spend your money. Where are you going to spend the money? What do you need? What are the gaps? New SPO business opportunities, $250,000. If someone's a good SPO, and there's hundreds of good SPOs out there, you don't need this category. You don't need it. Get rid of it. That's $250,000 that'll go into the open source development and open source acquisitions. You could literally almost buy a product that's not open source, that's owned by a company. You buy it and open source it on Cardano. You could purchase it with that much money. That much money right there will buy you 2 block frosts. And you only got to buy one. That $250,000 going into NewSpo Business Opportunities would cover this entire column on my left-hand side. Think about it. Any questions? Any questions? I don't know. These are just based on my values and experience and knowledge, right? If you disagree, disagree. Please, by all means, disagree. Global, sustainable, independent, SPOs, something, what? Security network relies on SPOs. $100,000. Okay, there's another $100,000. That's $350,000 that goes to SPO something something. Sorry, you don't need it. SPOs, if a SPO is good, they will succeed and they'll make money. They don't need these categories. They don't need them. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. Artificial intelligence, $500,000. I don't know. Maybe it's right. It could be good. It's bootstrapping Singularity Net. Artificial intelligence, driving force, biggest cryptocurrencies. Okay, maybe this fund's bringing the Singularity community over to the Cardano community. Okay, might be a good number. Maybe. I think that's all right. Miscellaneous challenge, 200,000. That's where everything else goes. You get rid of a whole bunch of categories that have 200,000, 250,000. Stick them all in a miscellaneous challenge. Make this one 500,000. Take the remaining money and put it in the other categories where you're actually going to produce code and actually produce products and actually fill gaps and needs, which also includes reaching out to people as well. Nation building dApps. 600,000 ADA? What the fuck? I gotta read this. dApp proposal should cover foundational registry solutions, namely national ID and civil registry, property registration, medical vaccination, education. This sounds like it's rife for corruption. $600,000 for what? I'm going to have to look at this one closer. Nation building dApps. Maybe this is where DIDs come into play. I could be wrong. I shouldn't be jumping to conclusions or trying to be prejudiced. I need to read that one a little further. Let me correct myself. I need to read into that one. That's $600,000 for nation building dApps. There's a lot of overlap in these. There's a lot of overlap. Mini low budget dApps and integrations. This might be pretty good. So there might be stuff in the open source category that would be covered in this mini and low budget dApps and integrations. I'm going to have to look at that one closer. This is important. This is important. I'm going to have to look at that one closer. At open source development. So here's 200K. So this is good. This will get some development stuff built out. Mini dApps. Okay, that's a good category. I'm almost thinking you might want to up that. You might want to put more money in this bucket based on what I'm seeing right here. You don't want like 1,000 little things that aren't very useful, but if you have 100 things that are very useful, then you're in pretty good shape. All right, so I'm going to have to look at these further. Thanks, everyone, for joining me today. I'm going to pretty much wrap it up here. I don't see any further questions. There's some really good proposals in there in the games. Oh, Cardano Convo says there's some really good games, and that was in the games. I'm going to get a closer look at that one and the mini low budget. Gamers on Chain. This is important. This is very important. I'm going to get a closer look at that. This should probably have more money. And the mini dApps and the dApps and integrations. These are the important ones now. Early on, So the dApps, mini dApps, Gamers on Chain, early in Cardano, get that stuff built out. That's important. That's where the money needs to be allocated early on, and I think for the next fund as well. So, all right, thanks everyone for joining me here. I almost forget. Let me stop my screen share. I hope that was helpful. I'll get my list posted up on Twitter. It'll have some detailed annotations like decision aids where I'm not telling you what to vote for, but here are some decision aids on what you're voting for. Y'all have a great day, and remember to vote and look through stuff and have a think on it and prioritize and say what's important, what do we really need in each of the categories. Remember, one category does not compete with the other. So the community events category money is not competing with the lobbying for favorable legislation category, right? Those are separate buckets. So you can vote for all the stuff in one category and until you run out of money, if you choose to do so. And then you go to another category and you vote for stuff in there until you run out of stuff, until you run out of money if you choose to do so. Those are just some recommendations. Cardano Convo says they're trying to get 500K for Fund 8. I think that's on the Gamers on Chain category. So yeah, that investing in getting the gamers to come over is a very worthy thing to do. So, I mean, you get a lot of people, you reach a lot of people. That's a short leap. All right, everyone, take care. You have a great day. Have a great Sunday. And don't forget, Taco Tuesday is every Tuesday. So go get your tacos. And we're going for number one all day.